Hello class 5th. Today I start the chapter named Miss Pickerell in Space. This is written by Alan McGregor. Let's start it. On her way home after meeting her nephew and niece, Miss Pickerell Mr. Haggerty. She gave him a lift in her car. He tell her that he is on his way to join a scientific expedition. Let's find out what happened next day when Miss Pickerell woke up.
When Miss Pickerell came to her senses, the pressure was gone. She felt light and giddy and weightless. She was also frightened and didn't want to open her eyes, but she did, just a little. There was a man sitting in front of her. The man said,
"Lady, you have absolutely no business being here."
Miss Pickerell said, "You had absolutely no business being outside my house. Was there an explosion?"
Nothing like the explosion there's going to be when the captain finds out about this.
Miss Pickerell tried to sit up and lifted her arm. Then, amazingly, the bare movement of her arm lifted her right out of the bunk where she was lying. The man advised her to use the strap. The man introduced himself as Killian, the executive officer of the ship. Miss Pickerell said, "I don't understand what has happened. Why do I feel so light?" Mr. Killian said,
"Because we're traveling through space."
He explained how this was natural as they were going straight up. Miss Pickerell said, "Forevermore? You mean we're in the stratosphere?" She had heard from her nieces and nephews about airplanes flying rapidly through the stratosphere high above the earth. Mr. Killian said,
"Past the stratosphere long ago."
Miss Pickerell said, "I'll send my nieces and nephews a telegram when we land. How soon will that be, Mr. Killian? And where are we going anyway?" Mr. Killian said,
"Be a long, long time before we land, if we ever do. And where we are going, you won't be able to send any telegrams."
Miss Pickerell saw something moving from the corner of her eye. It was Wilbur, whom she met outside the spaceship before. But he was swimming. Mr. Wilbur said,
"Why, hello there, Miss Pickerell."
Mrs. Pickerell said, "Forevermore." Mr. Wilbur asked if the captain was mad about Miss Pickerell. Mr. Killian replied,
"Haven't told him yet. Not supposed to interrupt him. What's he doing in there anyway? Writing a speech to give when we get back to Earth. We'll never get there now without Haggerty." "You mean we left Haggerty behind?" "Who's going to do the calculations for our flight?" "I'm not. I can only tell if we are on our course or off it. Guess I'd better check the instruments."
While they were talking, Miss Pickerell thought to herself, "That is rude. They should have given me a chance to speak. I could have told them that Mr. Haggerty was right down there on the ground." Miss Pickerell thought to herself, "I must go and have a talk with the captain. The men might be afraid to interrupt him, but I am not."